Dynamic host configuration protocol, right? Perfect. So anyone who can tell me what are the steps or what are the processes in which you get the IPs? Okay. So let me just mention, let's suppose this is a A, this is your B, just a minute. And this B is your DHCP server. Instead of A, that would be better. That's why this is a user DHCP. So, right. All right. So as I mentioned, this is a four-step process. We have, generally there's this abbreviation to remember these things, to map it out, you know, and that abbreviation is your DORA. So anyone having kids in their house? Anyone? So you might have seen back if you're in your childhood or your kids, they might be watching a cartoon or this animation with the name Dora the Explorer. Anyone? Ever heard about this one? Yeah, perfect. So you can remember it with that way. So here these are the four-step process. D as in your discover, O as in your offer, R as in request, and A as in acknowledgement, right? A as in acknowledgement. So what happens the moment you get connected to a network, the very first thing you do is you discover a DHCP server, right? You discover for checking whether there is a DHCP or not. Once you hit a DHCP server, DHCP sends you an offer, like it says, okay, I have this, IP. This is the IP I have. If you want it, you can take it. Okay, so DHCP server will be offering you that IP. Now, what you will be doing as a user, you will be requesting to that DHCP server and saying that, okay, I want this IP. Please give it to me. Not that loud, but yeah, let's request will be in request manner. Okay, that yeah, I want this IP. Please give it to me. Then DHCP will be acknowledging your request and it will be allotting you the IPs. That is a four-step process in your DHCP, which is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. All right. And there's one more thing which is quite basic into these things, which is your DNS. Okay. So we'll be talking about DNS. DNS stands for what, guys? Domain name system, right? All right. Generally, if you go with the definition and everything, it's domain name system. Thing is, you might have noticed at your time that whenever you are trying to open a website, guys, for the very first time, whenever you're trying to open a website, have you ever noticed that that website takes a bit small of amount of a time to load it up? For example, if I'm trying to find google.com, right? So what we'll be doing over here, I will just tell you about everything. Let me just write things up first so that I can go with the flow. See, let me get the mouse pointer. Yeah, perfect. So, for example, we are trying to search for the google.com for the very first time. Okay, just take that for example. So, guys, what happen is the moment you hit any domain name in your browser, the very first thing it does is it goes to your host file. Okay, it goes to your host file and checks whether there is any static entry or not. You know, we have this static entry in our host. Okay, host file contains these static entries. Do you know where is your host file in your system? In system32 we have this etc folder furthermore, right? So inside that you can find, yeah, So host file, these are your static files. So if you want to block anything, any DNS from your opening in your system, you can just mention it over there. That will just block it out. Then if you do not find any entry regarding google.com in a host file, it will be going to your resolver's cache. Resolver cache, as if it's your local DNS cache, right? So all you can do is what? You can open your CMD command prompt. You can just write a simple line of code, which is ipconfig space slash display DNS. Okay, display DNS. No space will be there between these two. And it will open all those DNS records, like in your which are your local DNS cache, in right in front of you, right? Even if it's not in your resolver's cache, right, in your local cache, it will go to another one, which is your router DNS one, because router also maintain all these DNS cache itself. If it's not found in a router, if let's say you are sitting in an organization, it will check in the organization DNS as well. If it's not present in the organization DNS, it will be going to your internet service provider DNS. ISP stands for your internet service provider DNS. Okay, internet service provider DNS server. And let's say if the it's still not present over there. Okay, if it's still not present over there in your ISP as well, it will be going on and moving to your root level DNS. Okay, it goes to your root level DNS. So thing about this root level DNS, guys, is it consists of 13 major primary root level domain name servers. Okay, how many? 13 major primary root level domain name servers. And their name starts something like this. Like, it can be a.x66xx, b.x66xx, and c.xxxx till the point 13 is your m, right? m.xxxx, something like that. So these are what actually inside these we have, you can see, domain extensions. So you might have seen at the end of the domain name, what is there? .com, .org, .in, .au, .eu, .sa. Any other examples? .uk, something like this, isn't it? So at the domain name, we have this sort of an extension. So these are contained in your these 13 major primary root level domain name server. So for example, if I'm saying A will be holding the value of .com and .org. P will be holding the value of .n. C will be for this. Similarly, someone from the between this and this, and let's say for M it will be holding .uk. Just consider as an example. So what will happen after that in root level domain name servers? It will say, okay, in A we have .com because Google was having .com at the end, right? So it will be going right over here inside this. Now there is a job of top level domain name server. It will be searching out for Google in the .com. It will be searching out for the Google in .com. It will be searching for that, let's say where is this Google and respect to that IP and everything. It will map it out, and now it will be doing what? It will be replying back once it has found out the everything. Once it has found out everything, it will be replying back to your ISP DNS server. It will be creating a record into its cache, then to your organization, then to your router, then to your resolver cache, and now will it go to your host file? Yes or no? No, right? Reason being, it contains a static entry. So from browser cache, it will directly open the google.com for your system. And if I ask you who maintain these things, root level and top level, it's the same authority. So INA maintains the whole authority for you, or this root level and top level as well. If I say, what which file is responsible to make the travel from ISP to root level, try to search for it. Okay, that will be a task for the day. Which file is responsible to make the travel from ISP to your root level?